This is the American flag on the opening screen of the Cowboy Carter tour. There are 14 lines on the flag. However, the last line is blacked out. At first glance, the black bar going across the bottom of the flag made sense to me. It felt like a tribute to the foundation laid by Black Americans. This country was literally built on the backs of Black people. So grounding America's foundation visually in black felt both powerful and fitting. It also reminded me of the line, "I'm building my own foundation" in Break My Soul. However, because she's Beyonce and I'm Lawbreakers, I thought there must be another level. So I thought more about the number 14, and then it clicked. I think this 14th black bar on the American flag represents the 14th Amendment and America's betrayal of it. This is the American flag covered in construction tarps during the Beyonce Bowl. This is Kendrick Lamar wearing a construction outfit during the Renaissance World Tour. The 14th Amendment grants citizenship to everyone born in the United States, including formerly enslaved people, and guarantees equal protection under the law for all citizens. It was ratified during the Reconstruction era. The Reconstruction era was a period in U.S. history immediately following the Civil War from 1865 to 1877, when the federal government attempted to rebuild the South and integrate formerly enslaved African Americans into political and social life. It led to the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which respectively abolished slavery, granted citizenship and equal protection, and secured voting rights for Black men. During this time, the federal government enforced civil rights through military occupation of the South, and Black Americans began to vote, run for office, build schools, and participate in democratic life for the first time. But the Reconstruction era also faced fierce resistance in the South. The white supremacist violence, especially from groups like the KKK, rose to crush Black political power, while Southern elites sought to restore the racial hierarchy. Over time, Northern political will was eroded. Many white Northerners grew tired of what they saw as an endless Southern problem, and economic interests began to take priority over civil rights. The contested presidential election of 1876 resulted in the Compromise of 1877, in which federal troops were withdrawn from the South in exchange for resolving the election in favor of Rutherford B. Hayes. This effectively ended Reconstruction, abandoning Black Southerners to a regime of Jim Crow segregation and disenfranchisement. It wasn't just that the government gave up, it made a political deal sacrificing racial justice for national reconciliation. Reconstruction aimed to remake America on the new terms of equality, but its collapse left many of those promises broken for generations. In essence, the American economic interests were prioritized over the equality and rights of Black Americans in the South. And we are still feeling the effects of this failed Reconstruction to this day. Which brings me to the flag which we see during the Beyonce Bowl. It is covered in construction tarps. The only thematic connection between Renaissance and Cowboy Carter is this cover of America Has a Problem remix with Kendrick Lamar, where we see an American flag made of pills. See my Venn diagram. When Kendrick came out during the Renaissance World Tour to perform his verse, he was wearing a high-vis construction outfit. We saw him use the imagery of a Black Uncle Sam during the Super Bowl, and we see Beyonce on this Cowboy Carter tour embodying the same Uncle Sam during the America Has a Problem interlude. Do you see? America is still under construction, and that is the problem America has. We are still facing the consequences of the initial failed Reconstruction era, which did not keep the promises of formerly enslaved people to help them usher themselves into equal members of American society. And that is why it all points, I think, to this flag having a black bar at the bottom of it, and the bar being the 14th bar of the U.S. flag. All of these point to the sobering truth that America has never fully upheld the 14th Amendment. Though it was meant to guarantee citizenship and equal protection to all people born in the United States, including formerly enslaved Black Americans, those promises were gutted as soon as they were made. Now, you may think, well, what about the 13th and 15th Amendments that were also passed during the Reconstruction? Well, the 13th Amendment was the abolition of slavery. Was it enforced? Yes, but with a major loophole. Slavery as an institution was officially ended, except for as a punishment for a crime. That's right, slavery can still be used as a punishment for a crime. This loophole allowed slavery to continue under a new name, mass incarceration and convict leasing, which disproportionately targeted Black Americans. So while technically the 13th Amendment was upheld, the spirit of the amendment was subverted. Now, the 15th Amendment was the right to vote regardless of race. Was it enforced? Formally, yes, but practically, it's often undermined. Black men gained the legal right to vote, but systemic voter suppression quickly followed. Literacy tests, poll taxes, intimidation, voter ID laws, felon disenfranchisement, gerrymandering, and poll closure still disproportionately affect Black and brown voters. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 tried to enforce the 15th Amendment more fully, but key parts were gutted by the Supreme Court in Shelby versus Holder, weakening protections again. So, again, while technically upheld, the spirit of this amendment was subverted. But I would argue that the 14th Amendment in particular, which was the one to guarantee equal protection, due process, and citizenship, has been the most brazenly and publicly violated, and the most deadly via segregation, Jim Crow laws, police violence, discriminatory laws, and economic disenfranchisement. In daily life, equal protection under the law is still far from reality. You cannot be a black person in America and not fear for your life when you encounter the police. This is a far, far cry from what the 14th Amendment was supposed to enforce and protect. What equal protection? What due process? So, this is what I believe the black bar at the bottom of the American flag in the opening of the Cowboy Carter tour is representing. The failure that America blatantly ignored the 14th Amendment, and us still being in a Reconstruction era because of the inability to uphold any promises to African Americans made during the Reconstruction era. If you want to know why I believe that the flag is glitching, you can watch this video in The Flag Explained Part 1, where I go into exactly why I believe it's glitching, and that's a whole other deep dive. So watch that on my TikTok or my YouTube. And if you want to see more about the America Under Construction ties, you can watch this video here on TikTok or YouTube. Now, if you watch till the end of this video, I know it's a short one, but if you watch till the end, if you leave a black dot and American flag emoji, I'll know that you watched till the end. And if you'd like to support my work, you can buy me a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/lorebreakers. Special thank you to Elena, Imani, Heather, Guy, and R. White for your generous support. It truly made a huge difference and is helping support me make these videos and help me pay my bills, so I am deeply, deeply indebted and so grateful for you. There's a lot more videos coming your way. The Cowboy Carter Tour breakdowns will be in these playlists on YouTube and TikTok, so make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube, click the notification bell, and follow along. I recently reached 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and 25,000 on TikTok, which is insane. So thank you so much for spending your precious time with me on these wild deep dives. There's lots more coming. Till next time, love, Lore Breakers.